What's up, guys? So, wanted to make a follow-up video to the last one I posted about my long COVID journey and everything that we all know the hell that it is. So, I'm officially, what I think yesterday was my 1 year anniversary. So, I'm 12 months into it, but I have been saying, like, I'll give you an example. This past week, I was like, okay, it was to the point where I was saying, wow, I'm really gonna beat this. Like, I was like, I feel like I'm so close. Um, but I've probably said that 100 times. But that was definitely the best month that I've had, and last week being the best week that I've had. But it has taken me so much work, and I try not to get frustrated with that because on the other side of things, like, I'm truly blessed. I have a house, I have a wife, I have kids. I have food I can eat, and like, there's part of me that hates complaining about it because I'm like, I just think of kids that have nothing, living in Africa or wherever, other countries, like no food, no water, and I'm like, all right, I have resources. Like, that already makes me extremely lucky. But that being said, when you feel like you're actually going insane in your own head, it makes day to day living a little difficult. um, it's tough, man. Like, I've recently let go of this because I hung on to this for so long, which looking back, if I could tell my old self, so anybody listening, I spent so much time trying to convince other people, friends, family members, like how messed up I was. And not that I expect them to understand, but it would just take so much. Like, it would just. I just wanted, you just want them to be like, wow, that really sucks. But like, how can they understand if they're not going through it? So it'd be like, oh, well, why don't you just go do this? And I'm like, I've lost friends over this. I've been judged, I've been criticized, character in question, which hurts because for the last 7 years that these people have known me, um, I'm like, guys, this isn't me. Like, I'm not choosing it to be like this, you know? And I had friends over at my house yesterday for a fantasy football draft. Now, remember, I just said that was the best week that I've had. And I was like, yo, I'm so close. Again, tons of work. Like, I look at the big picture and I'm like, man, if this is only a year or two of my life, then I'll be happy. And honestly, I wake up every day and I say, thank you, God, that I'm alive. Thank you, I'm still here breathing and I have a chance to defeat this. I've leaned on my faith extremely hard in this, which gets frustrating too, because when it's bad, you're like, all right, like, I say to myself, and it's not about me. I know there's a lot of people suffering out there all over the world. But whatever this is, I just look and say, how could how can a human being alive like endure this type of mental, physical torture? Like, I can't think of anything worse than this, honestly. I really can't. And you know, I try to say, well, it wiped out a bunch of people, so I'm lucky I'm still breathing. But it's tough, man. Because I'm just like, there is a part of my brain that feels like it's dead. Like, because I go to think about Like I used to coach football, and I didn't have to think about that. I'd be like, all right, we're going to run this play, then we're going to do that. Now when I try to think about that, I'm like, it's just not there. Like, it's bizarre. Like certain, there is, I always say, I feel like the left side, like my left brain feels like fully recovered, like ready to go. There's just something in my right brain where it's like not, whatever whatever that part of the brain controls, it's like not working fully, and it's struggling to deal with. But that being said, I'm about, I got to be close to 2 months soon of getting the SGB. I think I'm a little over a month out. And I say I do see improvements, but all of a sudden yesterday I'm having that draft, massive panic attack. Like had to go upstairs in my room and curl up in a ball, and literally like feels like you're dying, And I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, I don't know if it was overstimulation or what, but I was like, dude, I'm like, this is absolutely nuts. Like, and my pot symptoms have kind of kicked back up to a degree. I went back to work, and I was at work like, oh, I'm good. I'm gonna beat this. But I still move around confident that I will. But there's so many times, like this is my hardest thing, guys. It's like derealization. Like even right now as I'm watching this, like I'll look at these trees and be like, oh, like that tree is just coming through my eyes, and like my brain is processing that image. Like just, and then tomorrow I'll be able to think about this exact moment so vividly. It's like, I went to the store this morning. I can remember every step I took, every kid's face, like, and when I try to explain that to people, they're like, oh, what's bad to remember and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but this is different. Like, it's like I'm stuck on like acid or something, and I've never taken acid, but that's the only thing I can think to compare it to. It's like, I so miss the feeling of being like, hey, it's Labor Day. I got the day off from work. I'm going to grill some food, chill out, watch a movie, go to work tomorrow. Like, it's kind of like I'm operating in this weird realm now. And what it's done for me, guys, and let me say, it has gotten better, which is hard to remember when it's not gone. Like, when it was bad, I was coaching football, and I was literally, it was like I was drunk, like looking at the field, and I'm like, I couldn't, like, my brain could not follow like the play, and I'm like, this is absolutely nuts. And it was scary. But now it's kind of like, I don't know why it did this for me, and it sucks because I hate it, but it's like, I remember being at work and like it really hit me hard. And like all of a sudden everyone in front, it was like, I try to say that it's like I see evolution or something. Like I just see the world completely different, like this matrix. I've always kind of been like that anyway, but when I look at people, I see like, I'll be like, oh, like they must have evolved from this species, and like, or I'll be like, this person from this culture, like, and honestly, it's scary. I'll look at people and like think about the bones inside of them and like the organs and how we like move around, which I guess is fascinating, but I hate it because I'm like, dude, it was never like this. Like even when I was bugging out yesterday, I'm laying in my bed like just thinking about my heart inside of my body, and I'm like, dude, this could give out at any second. Like, and what I say is this: I miss like that feeling of, they say don't take life for granted, but I miss that feeling of taking I mean, obviously, when you're normal, you take life for granted. Like, hey, I'm gonna wake up and do this, and my friends will be like, bro, well, you can die any day. Like, yeah, I get that from a normal mind, but I never moved like that. Like, I was always planning my life out. Like everyone, like, all right, 5 years, I'll do this, and coach football. Like, plans to retire. Like, just a regular life, not worrying about death. Because what this, like, I always say to my friends, this felt like I was like 2 inches from death. Like, whatever it did to my body and what it did to me mentally, because it actually drove me into a mental hospital. Like, and it's a long battle, man. I battled my way out of that, and I'm still battling through it. But you know, I want to know if anyone else has these weird, like, derealization thoughts. Like, it's almost like I can see through my own body. Like, I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh, there, like, I'm just there's my eyeballs. Like, I'm just in here. It's like I miss being like, oh, I'm gonna wear this. How you would get dressed for work and be confident and like, I'm gonna wear this outfit. I'm gonna look good, and like, it sucks, man. Like, I pray I get it back, but sometimes I'm like, some of my buddies are like, bro, you're never gonna unsee it. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This kind of sucks, to be honest, but I will say that those are my two biggest things, is that I still have pot stuff. Well, I still have insomnia. I take medication for it. I did start doing a spike protein detox, which seems to be helping, but it's tough, man. Like, what it is for me, like this, when I look at people, like, their ears just look so weird to me. Like, and I'll be like, oh, that's just like a monkey or something. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, I'm aware of the evolution theory, and some people fully believe in, and whatever. I'm a spiritual person. Like, I don't really know. But I just say, like, when can I go back to seeing humans as humans and just like being like, oh, I'm chilled out. I'm going to go do this. And like, that basic, like, I guess we had it good. We had it good in America, like, just taking life for granted. That's the part of me that says, man, you know what? You had 34 years of nothing but fun, man. Obviously some bad stuff, but overall fun, great life. Done some really cool things, and I try to keep that in perspective. Like, all right, if this is how it is now, like, I'll just ride it out. But I'm optimistic, very optimistic in a full recovery, just from all the recovery stories I read. But it's challenging, man. So those are the things I still struggle with: the pots, the derealization, and I can't fall asleep naturally, I guess. But yeah, it sucks, man. But if this makes sense to anybody, I would love for you to reach out and explain, like, the derealization thing to me. The worst thing for me is, like, it used to give me intrusive thoughts bad. I'm on medication now, and I've gotten so good at, like, I just say, oh, that's gone. Like, is it gone? For the most part, yeah. But I say that today, but sometimes it comes back in waves, and I'm like, dude, this is nuts. But I just pray, I pray every day, and I just thank God I'm alive, and I just trust whatever's happening, even though it's extremely challenging and hard to accept. But I pray for all of us, man. If anybody else out there has the derealization thing going on, and what I described makes any sense to you, I'd love for you to share it with me. And if there's any full recovery stories, like, reach out to me. I like to hear them. I'm trying to take a step back and not dwell so much on this and focus on reading a million things. But You guys know how it goes. Anyway, God bless. Praying for us all. Stay strong.